I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings. I've never discussed my business or their business, my sons or daughters, and I've never discussed them because they know where I have to do my job and that's it, and they have to make their own judgments. He's a grown man, and it turns out he did not do a single thing wrong.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Truth Over News. Joe Biden repeatedly claimed, "I never discussed business affairs with my son Hunter," that he knew nothing of Hunter's business, that he had no knowledge, part, or influence in what Hunter was doing overseas. Of course, as we know, that was all a lie. Joe Biden didn't just know about Hunter's business, he was an integral part of it. If we're being honest, the entire reason Hunter even had any sort of business was because of Joe Biden. It was all about access to the power and position that Joe Biden represented. Without his father, Hunter had nothing to offer. Joe Biden's position as vice president allowed Hunter to start up his business in China, branch into Ukraine, and then just as the Ukraine business was coming to an end, make a move into Romania. We already have, among other evidence, the recently released text from Hunter Biden, where he was demanding payment from his Chinese business partners, telling them, "I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father." But now we also have two official and explosive emails sent from Joe Biden's assistant, John Flynn, to Joe Biden on May 27th and June 14th, 2016. The first email was in regards to a May 27, 2016 phone call between Joe Biden and the president of Ukraine about the role of the new prosecutor in Kiev. The second email detailed a preparation and follow-on face-to-face meeting at the White House with the new Prime Minister of Ukraine, Volodymyr Groysman. On both of these emails involving official White House meetings with the highest of Ukrainian officials, Hunter Biden was directly included. We've asked Flynn, no relation to General Flynn, what this was all about, but unsurprisingly, thus far, we've received no reply. During the May 27, 2016 call with Poroshenko, Biden discussed the importance of continuing to institute reforms in the office of the Prosecutor General and the significance of Ukraine's progress toward implementing judicial reforms and meeting IMF conditions. The readout of this call was surprisingly similar to an earlier May 13th call, where Biden commended legislative changes that will set up an independent office of the Inspector General in the office of the Prosecutor General. Now, during the earlier May 13th call, Biden also informed President Poroshenko that the United States was prepared to move forward with the signing of that third $1 billion loan guarantee agreement that had been conditioned on Poroshenko firing Shokin. Neither official readout references Hunter in any way, and it is not yet known if he was actually on either call. But it was the similarity between the two calls, in addition to Hunter's being CC'd on the May 27th email, that really caught our eye. Why have two calls so close together to cover the same ground? We decided to slot everything into a timeline, and it was here that suddenly everything seemed to fall into place. As most will remember, Shokin was fired by Poroshenko under intense pressure from Joe Biden on March 29, 2016. Now, recall from a previous show that authorities in Latvia had flagged a series of suspicious financial transactions linked to Hunter, Devon Archer, and two other individuals involved with Burisma in mid-February 2016, one of whom was an American citizen. Joe Biden needed Shokin gone, and he needed him gone immediately. He probably didn't have the proper amount of time to focus on getting the right replacement. This job he apparently left to Poroshenko, at least initially. Yuri Severik was appointed by Poroshenko as the interim prosecutor on the same day that Shokin was fired. It was at this exact same period that Burisma, at Hunter's urging, hired Blue Star Strategies to address the Burisma case with the new prosecutor Severik. Blue Star worked in concert with an American criminal defense lawyer, John Beretta, who was hired by Burisma to help address the case in Ukraine. The same day that Shokin's firing was announced, Beretta asked to speak with Severik but was turned down. Blue Star eventually secured a meeting with Severik on April 6, a week after Shokin's firing. It's our very strong suspicion that Blue Star was sent, at least in part, to effectively vet the new prosecutor as a suitable replacement for Shokin. According to reporting by John Solomon, Severick memorialized the meeting in a government memo, stating that representatives from Blue Star offered him an apology for the false narrative that had been created by Joe Biden and other U.S. officials about Shokin being corrupt and inept. This was probably not what Biden wanted from the new prosecutor, which makes sense because on May 12, 2016, former Interior Minister Yuri Lutsenko was suddenly appointed as the new Prosecutor General of Ukraine, replacing the just appointed Severick. It's not entirely clear who pushed for Lutsenko. Representatives from Blue Star or John Beretta are a possibility. But we've also found references to a Tory, leading us to wonder if it was Victoria Nuland who gave the green light for Lutsenko as the new Prosecutor General for Ukraine. It's here that the calls between Biden and Poroshenko re-enter the picture. The very next day, on May 13th, Biden held a call with Poroshenko. We don't know if Hunter was on this call, and we don't have any scheduling emails to Biden from this day. But we do know that on this call, Biden informed President Poroshenko that the United States was prepared to move forward with the signing of that third $1 billion loan guarantee agreement that had been conditioned on Poroshenko firing Shokin. Poroshenko had been growing increasingly nervous, wondering if the much-needed IMF money would be forthcoming. Now, with the appointment of Lutsenko the previous day, the money was finally coming through. Biden had officially signed off. As a quick side note, the Burisma case was later settled in January 2017 for a few $1 million in fines for alleged tax issues. Fast forward a few weeks to May 27, 2016. There was another call between Biden and Poroshenko. This was the call where Hunter was CC'd on the scheduling email from Biden's assistant. Why would Hunter need to know of this call? And was he part of the call? We don't know the answer to that question. Again, Hunter is mentioned nowhere in the formal readout of that call. But perhaps some final cleanup of the Ukraine prosecutor situation was in order. We know that Biden and Poroshenko discussed the importance of continuing to institute reforms in the office of the Prosecutor General. We should also specify that Joe Biden used a pseudonym email address for this email, or more precisely, his assistant sent the email to Biden's pseudonym email address with Hunter CC'd on the email. Now, why is this important? Because 3 days later, on May 30th, 2016, Lutsenko fired Severick, who had been demoted to Deputy Prosecutor General under Lutsenko. A clean slate all around. It was also on this same day, May 30th, 2016, that Nellie Orr, the wife of top DOJ official Bruce Orr, sent an email to Bruce and 3 other DOJ officials, Lisa Holton, Ivana Nisich, and Joe Wheatley, disclosing the existence of the Ukrainian black box that was supposedly in the Ukrainian National Anti-Corruption Bureau, or NABU's, possession. Nellie's email had a subject line that read, "Reported trove of documents on Ukrainian Party of Region's black cash box." At this time, Nellie was working for Glenn Simpson's Fusion GPS, doing open source opposition research on the Trump campaign. It's important to note here that no one outside of Ukraine knew of the black box at the time that Nellie sent her email.